Welcome to solverfy.
So for this question, we've been given a sample of 30 large companies and their charitable donations. And what we need to do is take that data and construct a frequency distribution with 9 classes. And here I have set out a basic table that we're going to be filling in to create this distribution, and our data points on the left. The first thing we need to decide on are our classes, and this is where we're going to group the data into these 9 classes. To work out the classes, the first thing we need to do is work out what width of class we need. And the first thing you need to do to get that width is take the range of our data. So here we have 88 as our highest number and 14 as our lowest number. So to get the range, we take our highest number of 88 and we take away from that 14. And this gives us an answer of 74, which is the range. Now, to get the width of the classes that we need to take that 74, that range, and divide it by the number of classes. So 9. And this gives us an answer of 8.2 recurring, so rounded to 8.2. Now, to get the class width, it needs to be an integer number. And where you would usually round a number like 8.2 down to 8, you actually need to round it up in all cases of frequency distributions. So our class width is going to be 9. And it's also really important to remember that when you're doing a question like this, the class width has to be the same for all of your classes. You can't have one class with 2 numbers in it and another with 20. So they all need to be 9. The next thing we need to do is pick a sensible starting point. Looking at this data, with 14 as our lowest number, we want to pick a starting point that's slightly lower than that, but not too much lower. So for this, I chose a starting number of 10. And to get 9 numbers inclusively, you add 8. So our first class will be 10 to 18. So that every number is included in one class or another, we need to just take the next one, so 19, and again, add 8. And we keep doing this through all the numbers, and eventually we have all of our 9 classes. The next thing we need to do is start tallying this data up, and this is a good way of making sure that you get all the numbers and you don't forget any of them. So we take our first number, 26, so we're going to cross that out and put a tally in the class that 26 occurs in. And we're going to keep doing this, so take 25 and tally them up. I would say with this, try and do it slowly and make sure you don't miss any of them out, because you don't want to have to be redoing all of this. Just going to keep going through them all. 48. And it's also good to make sure that you keep the same system. Whether you cross them off before you do a tally or you cross them off after you do a tally, whatever you do, you need to make sure you do the same every time. So in my case, I cross the number off, then make the tally. Then cross the next one, then make the tally. And remember, when you get to 5, you cross across. 57. I don't know what it will be like for you guys, but it tends to be the ones that are the inclusive ones that catch me out. When you have a number that's right on the edge of one of your data sets, like that one. And it's important that even if a class doesn't have any of the data points fall in it, you still need to make sure that you include it, which is something that can sometimes trip people up, because it can be quite confusing if you have nothing in there, but it still needs to be there. And then that final 88. So here you can see in this class, in the 64 to 72, we don't actually have anything. So the last thing we need to do is write out our frequency. So just count up your tallies. 3, 2, 4, And remember to include the 0 on the next one. 1, and then that 2. And there you have it. That is your frequency distribution table.